Is Magic the Gathering's Commander format worth playing competitively? My answer is no, and here is why. First, multiplayer. In Commander, there are typically 4 players with 40 life. Meanwhile, the card pool is very similar to the card pool of Legacy. As such, aggro is much weaker than combo and control, because you have to deal 120 damage to win, while the cards are balanced for 1 versus 1 at 20 life. Casual players can get around this by simply not playing meta decks, but competitive players have to use the best options available to them. Second, color imbalance. With aggro not being viable, white and red are suddenly much weaker and only supporting colors at best. Casual players can use mana-hungry artifacts to get around the weaknesses of white and red, but they are too inefficient for competitive play. And while there are some combos in white and red, they do not matter enough to support the colors due to the low amount of good card draw and the low amount of tutors. That leaves only control, which white is pretty good at with tax cards and lockdown cards, but it is still extremely slow and hitting 2 opponents for 2 damage every turn is not viable. It gives them too much time to answer your board and combo off. There is a reason why the only good white deck with less than 3 colors in competitive EDH is Captain cEDH decks with Paradox Engine and Mindslaver as combo win conditions. Red, however, is weak at both combo and control. It has a few lockdown enchantments like white, but it is generally based on making a lot of big mana burn spells. That is simply too slow for competitive EDH. It shouldn't come as a surprise that there is no top tier deck with less than 3 colors in it that runs red. The conclusion. For casual, it means that it is very difficult to balance the decks within a playgroup. Do you allow combo decks to end games faster? Do you then also allow stacks in order to answer combo? Is the format still fun to play that way? In competitive, however, it means that every deck is trying to combo off when others can't do anything about it. Either by doing it very early on, I've had people assemble their combo consistently by turn 2 and 3, or by making sure that other people can't interrupt their combo first. If you have ever played against Lantern control decks in Modern, Turbo Fog decks and Teferi decks with the Nexus of Fate in Standard, or the old Flash Hulk decks of Legacy, then you already know what the gameplay experience is. It is overall pretty miserable, especially once your table is locked down or when you need to wait for the combo player to finish his combo. Often people just expect the table to concede as soon as they have their combo active. On top of that comes the matter of price. Building a competitive EDH deck is one of the most expensive things that you can do in all of Magic, and that's not just because of the reserved list. However, this does not mean that EDH overall is terrible. Casual EDH is still a lot of fun, even though the communication with other players can be a challenge. Competitive EDH, however, is doomed in my opinion. It offers an experience that you would avoid as much as you can in other formats, and it still demands a huge investment from you to get into it. In order for competitive multiplayer Commander to be really worth playing, it would have to change the rules of EDH and make aggro more viable, so that it becomes a more balanced format.